Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Confessions of a Cheater. This is season 1, episode 5. And the number 5 is all about significant change, especially because, I am a Scorpio and we are in Scorpio season. It's very transformative, but also it gives that time for everything to fall and crash. You know, a lot of people don't like Scorpios because we let things slide, because we have such a heavy body, but our pinchers still work. You know what I'm saying? We're not gonna let things slide for your comfort. So I feel as if this was something um transformative within my life because I finally took my pinchers out in a way. I showed my hand, and it's not just telling the truth of, confessing my cheating. It's more of me giving it to God and allowing the universe to bring me to the right spaces. As you can see with the last two women that I was interested in, I just got hit with a whole bunch of things I wasn't expected to be hit with. So with this next person, she's very dear to my heart. I actually love her a lot, like a lot. And I can't wait to tell you guys about her in this next episode. But she was very transformative in my life, and I pray I was the same for her. I feel like I am though. Because we're just there, like automatically we click. And I think one time I was on, like when we first met, I was on the phone with her because we were coordinating meeting up, but I was at McDonald's with my homegirl. So then I was like, wait, I'm confused, like what, and she's just like, no, sweetie, listen to me, like, like it's just our communication was just very relaxed, and my friends was like, that person's on the phone, like, oh my gosh, y'all communication so well, oh my god, that's your wife. And I was like, period. And then when we finally met, it wasn't giving wife, it was giving best friend, like, for real. So I just think that, especially in my past, I have in my dating history, I have a point in all of the people that I dated where I'm just like, yo, we would be better off as friends, bro, or like something like that. And I just feel like I met that person and we both decided to choose to be each other's friends. Like, I remember it was just weird, like, for the last couple of days. And then she introduced me to one of her friends. And then her friend was like, what's up with that? And she was like, she cool. And that's how I feel. That's how I feel about her. She cool. So now we just cool together. We two ice cubes just sitting there in a glass of water, just chilling. So I will proudly introduce my friend to you in this next episode, and I hope you enjoy the change. I had to learn not to date everybody that shines to me. Although the communication is amazing, we both are spiritually connected, and we radiate so much beauty. There's some people you just aren't meant to date romantically. I met this fat pum pum gal upon IG, but you can call her Robbie. A Pisces, may I add, she's adorable and the most amazing person on this planet and beyond it. Our first FaceTime date was her at a karaoke bar with her friends. Her drunk ass giving an intuitive reading in the woman's bathroom while squaring up with the lady's husband, who's in the men's. She's truly amazing, and best believe I was on her screen shouting and offering my 2 cents to that poor drunk lady. I love a baddie who uses their intuition on a daily and still lives her own life without the weight of what others may think. This karma is too strong to ruin such a unique connection between us. So instead, we went alien hunting by car in DC. Now, I don't know shit about astrology just yet, but I can read the stars and internalize the message and what season it is going to be. I knew exactly which spaceship was mine, and I can point hers out because it was so bright and we weren't that far behind. That night, we had a conversation about her ex, and it went on so long I ended up at his apartment. I never met this man. And I just met Robbie not too long ago. How the fuck did I end up here without her giving me directions? If I try hard enough, I could probably guess the code to get in, but we aren't on that stalker shit. We healed our hearts, ate Doritos, and left to go back to Arlington. After being so attracted to the last two women and them handing me an ace of wands and swords within a 2 month span, I just needed a break from chasing the truth and the ghost of my past. I wanted to get my life together in a way because I found my purpose when my psychosis caught up to me and broke my third eye open. God chose me for some reason, and I was determined to figure out the problem so I can solve it. Like Sherlock Holmes, but the monster was me refusing to be who I was destined to be. I tried to ignore my responsibilities by trying to fit into society. I knew being a healer meant I needed to heal, but my mental got so bad I was in grippy socks for 3 days, refusing pills. It was the best time of my life, though. If I could go again, I would. 3 meals, 2 snacks, and everybody loved my company. I was a nut house celebrity in paper underwear. What did I do that ended me up in there, you ask? I feel like I lost my mind, but it first started at my mama's house when I was able to see the past, future, and present. The history of both sides of my family filled up my brain, and it went way further than I expected. But specifically, I am confused why the ancestors are causing so much conflict. Then I remember back in California, I have both sides of my family on the altar, and they're arguing in order to bring back calm waters to my life. Who knows what went down in all of their four walls? I just know the problem had to go, so I pulled out my supplies from my spiritual suitcase and got to work. I lit a candle. I believe it was blue, because the throat chakra needed to open in order for the divine to do what they needed to do. I talked into that candle as if I had an enemy. My body knew what to do, but my mind was empty. I cried in silence and looked back to smirk at the ring camera because I knew someday somebody would be watching. After leaving my mother's, I went to my ex's house to say my piece. Nobody answered, regardless of both cars in the driveway, and I found out later they caught me on the ring and took screenshots of me. Her mother didn't even know who I was, thinking I was a client of hers, called me a boy because I had a do-rag on. I then left to drive to Phoenix, but only got to Kentucky. I had no clue why, but again, I was going through psychosis. I'd drive during all times of the day and sleep in the parking lot of churches. I stopped in Virginia for more reasons than one, but I did get past the water supply company's gates for some reason I'm sure will reveal in the near future to come. There I cried immediately. My body was in shock, but in a past life manner. Why is the water burning my eyes the same way it burns my chest in the shower? I ran out of there, but my spirit said one more door to explore. The next door was a bathroom, but there was blood all over the floor. It smelled like an animal's feces. Blood sacrifice was the first thought that popped up in my mind. I ran out of there and left a clear box with a red plastic rose behind. I used that same rose to explore Arlington before leaving to go to the water supply thingy. I traveled to different stores offering a rose and they all denied me. I had no clue why I did this, but my spirit kept asking, "Do you trust me?" There was this one spot I found. The owner saw the rose and invited me inside. It was an empty bar sprinkled with Valentine's Day decor, and he offered me a water bottle, and the lady bartender started to whisper. He hits his cigarette and asks, "Which one do you want?" And then proceeds to tell me the little boy running around is his youngest son. I said, "Oh, no, thank you. I'm waiting for someone." But in my head, I was like, what in the... He asked if I needed something to ease my spirit and then told me to go next door because the party just got started. I'm assuming they come here when they're done and want something stronger than drugs to make it through the high. I keep hearing everything happens for a reason, and I'm still trying to figure out why. I left that place and went to offer my shoes to a homeless guy, but I swear he used the bus stop as a teleportation device. After that, I crossed the street into a spiritual shop, and my intuition kept telling me my heart isn't pure enough and there's still trauma to work on. I rolled my eyes and headed to Salem, Virginia, and on the way I have a conversation with Spirit about our Lord and Savior. My spirit tells me Jesus Christ had a son, but the problem was he was hidden away. I kept hearing I wanted to keep my son safe. Drake. Head ass, but in a serious way. Jesus didn't want anybody to know the truth that he too bit the fruit and started a generation when he knew he wasn't supposed to. Something about he isn't the person we think he is. It's actually a trick of the enemy to worship any entity, especially a human. How the story is twisted for mind control and my bloodline fell for it all. Even the story about Adam and Eve was wrong because it didn't include two other people who played significance in the story. I believe I went up into a mountain. It was tempted 3 times, but it never made me give up on the divine. That's when I knew I would be in the RV around that time. Still, that tarot reader was on my mind, and I kept putting my hands to my throat, which made me panic on if she was safe and secure. But today, I found out the hands are for Reiki, and that's how I can telepathically talk to her. The full card, but in reverse, because this love looks different than we both expect it to. I kept texting her, asking her for the truth when my mind was spiraling. If I had self-control, it wouldn't have played out in the way of attacking, and more of fact-checking. That's probably why she called me weird, because she doesn't know the truth about me and doesn't trust my energy because all the lies in my past lives. And the blocking is starting to feel guilty, as in blocking me on purpose. She knows exactly who I am, but doesn't want to get hurt again, especially if her friend is one of my exes. I just have to trust that my intuition will again lead me to the truth, with both hands on my throat chakra to clear away the bad vibes being put on us. Anyway, the cops picked me up for attempt to rob a truck because my car ran out of gas on the highway. But everything happens for a reason, and I'm glad I made it out there safe. I swear I could hear through walls because the officer's boss said I was obviously on drugs and showed clear signs and it had to keep me overnight. Then the officer that picked me up, his name was Joseph, told him no. He wouldn't be able to sleep at night knowing I was in the slammer for absolutely nothing. Then they started to bang on the walls and someone reminded them the room was soundproof. But I swear I heard it all. The officer's boss treated me like a child. Then I had to remind them I was attending Johns Hopkins as a master's student and worked for the big guys. He said, Then they proceeded to go through my wallet. All of my hoodoo friends know to keep your magic in your pocket. Joseph says, so what? You do voodoo or something? And I smiled and said, or something. He put my belongings back and said, let's go. I said, well, officer, I was thinking maybe the hospital was a good place to go. I just want to make sure I am mentally okay because I'm so far away from home with a story that doesn't make sense just yet. So there I was, sleeping my days away because I was diagnosed with depression. I was sleep deprived in all honesty because I needed that sleep of 3 days to do absolutely nothing. There was a choice in everything and I always chose sleep. I loved the ladies I met in there too. I loved them very much and I pray it was our last dark time that brought us there. Attending the group sessions and teaching them how to love themselves, and the room always fell silent when I spoke, and even tears went down people's faces. I'm so confused, but intuitively I know one of the guys had a hard life. He was crying because of all the shit he did in his past, and even though he couldn't take it back, the best he could do was sit in the nut house, than to drink his way into the grave, even though that's how he truly wanted to live out his life. After the hospital, I got a call from my ex and she said she was glad I was okay, but never wanted to talk to me again. Said I can't just be popping up at her house unannounced. She asked why I would even knock if I knew her car wasn't there. But in my defense, her car was broke down last time I saw it, so I figured why not give it a try. Then I asked again, who you been with? And she said she's not doing this again. About how I need to see my therapist. And I said, well, so-and-so told me different. I got a tarot reading and somebody is lying. It shut her right up. She didn't know what to say, but Busted by the Isley Brothers was singing in my brain. She said my mom reached out to her in hopes she doesn't have to file a missing person report. So she was just calling to make sure I was good. That's when I found out they recorded me while I was at the door. Everything happens for a reason. I just needed to fully go with the flow to understand who God is. God asked love or money, and I chose love because without it, everything will crumble and fall. What is love? It depends what you do with it. You can romantically love it or platonically enjoy it. Just remember it has to be a two-way street in order for true love to flow and be grounded. Robbie was the only one to believe me for who I said I was. It's because she too is my equal in more ways than one. As soon as I told her my story, she said to put her as my emergency contact. She's given me all I ever wanted within 3 days of knowing her: security, safety, protection, intuition, acceptance, and most importantly, love. And I could always depend on her for everything, especially ice cream and a shot of tequila at 2 in the morning with a hug. Hey everybody, I hope you enjoyed episode 5. Again, it is about my favorite person on earth. She's so cool, y'all, like no lie. I enjoy the fact that we can be open and honest with each other. I feel like a lot of people go through friends. Like I have a solid best friend, you know what I'm saying, that's ride or die. But then you have the people that you talk to most of the time, you know, and they grow to get there. Sometimes they don't reach to the best friend status. But I feel like me and Robbie, or especially for me, what she does for me is she teaches me communication. Like um it's something that I struggle with, honestly. Like I was even gonna think about like editing this episode, but nah, like sometimes I be having a little stutter, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes the my communication not there all the time. Sometimes I'm not able to really like complete a sentence or things like that. But Robbie's always there. Like I don't know why it's always worse when I'm around Robbie. Like well, I think it was last year for my birthday. It had to be exactly this time because I spent my birthday with her last year, and we went to go get ice cream. My favorite spot, Jenny's. You know, that's it. You know, you want to do something for me? Bring me some Jenny's. So Robbie already knows. So she took me to Jenny's for my birthday. And then, like, the guy, I order the same thing every time, but I think I'm going to switch it up. And I think I told her what I wanted. And as I was, like, explaining it to the guy, he just wasn't catching on. And it wasn't leaving my mouth. So Robbie just looked at me. And then she looked at him. And she said she wanted. And in the way, like, she just articulated, just shut me up. And I was like, all right, this is nice. You know, like, I've never had somebody to complete my sentence before, you know, and it was something that was so amazing because I didn't feel judged in the moment. I didn't feel powerless or nothing like that. It was more of like, thank you for helping me. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, she didn't judge me. And that's what I appreciated. And that's why I love Robbie so much, because we don't judge each other. Like, definitely, you know, I pray I'm the person she can call if she wants to have a conversation. But also, you know, she's the person I call too, and we talk to each other. I hope to see you guys again for episode 6. Episode 6 is going to be about what happened when I was at McDonald's, you know, and I was on the phone with Robbie, and we was, you know, trying to figure out where to meet up and what to do for the night. But no, I have a really good friend, and let me just tell you, my ego actually stood in between our relationship. Like, we were cool friends. I was cool with her sister, you know, I was mad cool with her sister actually. And I mean, we were cool in high school, but not really. And now that we're grown and the bad influences or the negative energies around us are gone, and I'm able to have a conversation, the first place we went to was McDonald's, period. So I'm gonna tell y'all what happened at McDonald's because that was real interesting, and I just feel like it all ties into this, and I hope you guys are enjoying it. If you understand, if you don't, if you can relate, go ahead and drop a comment, a like, go ahead, subscribe for more. I also have tarot sessions. I have Reiki sessions available. I'm doing collective readings on Eventbrite. I'm going to try and make it a more consistent thing. So go ahead and check me out on that. You can just search up Healing Hearts Movement and you'll see me. I'll be more active on Eventbrite, a lot more. And it'll just be an hour session of either Reiki or tarot, or I can just do intuitive messages, or if you want to just do an hour to get yourself out of the work zone, or you want to just talk about a situation, somebody pissed you off, come on through the live, you know what I'm saying? Because that's what it's for. It's just to distract you from your everyday life, you know, because actually we're not supposed to be working this hard, and we're not supposed to be splitting so much time between work-life balance. Life comes first. You can't work if you ain't got no life, right? So it don't work like that. So I'm really just trying to have an outlet for you guys, because I understand how it is to be at work so much to where you ignore your spiritual and your emotional problems. So I just like to be that light in the darkness for you guys. And I hope to see you next week. I will be posting on 11/11, which just so happens to be Veterans Day. So if you are a veteran, thank you for your service, and I'll see you on your day.